So listen to this. The minimum credit limit for a business line of credit for a brand new business is $10,000. So which means if you incorporate a business today, if you go to the bank, today's Sunday, right? If you go to the bank Monday or Tuesday, you can get you a $10,000 business line of credit for a brand new business. So I'm talking about revolving business line of credit, unsecured business line of credit. And you don't even have to use it if you don't need it. So this is the power of getting access to credit, access to funding, revolving credit lines so you can start your business. So now I'm going to tell you some service businesses that you can start in less than 30 days, right? So I'm going to give you some, a few of them. So now, just before I continue, I'm going to put the link below to the Funding Academy and in the description section. So listen, in the Funding Academy, listen, you can get in with the basic membership plan and get access to training video, lender database, and know how to position your personal credit so you can get access to unsecured business funding, lines of credit, business credit card. You can get all this information, knowledge, and training in the Funding Academy. So the link is below and it's going to be in the description section. So let's continue with the video. So listen, you can start a service business in less than 30 days, right? What type of service business? You can start a cleaning business. You can start a mobile detailing business. You can start a landscaping business, right? You can start any business that you're mobile, where you're going to the customer's place of residence and you don't need any overhead, right? You don't need any overhead costs, or you don't have any overhead costs. So you can start that in less than 30 days. And with access to capital, you can even expedite that. You can start it even faster because now you have some access to capital, access to credit lines, access to business credit card, access to business line of credit that you can deploy in your business to get you up and running, right? And you can use tools like ChatGPT to create the ads for you, right? So let's say you want to run some Facebook ads, you want to run some Google ads, and you don't know what to write, you don't know what to say, you can use ChatGPT. ChatGPT can create the ads for you. It can write the ads for you. It can create the template for you, and then you can run the ads on Facebook, on Kijiji, on Google, on whatever platform, so you can start getting some traffic, so you can start getting some clients. So that's how easy it is to start your service business, right? Because with a service business, you don't need any overhead. You don't need an office space. You don't need any overhead to restrict you, right? You're fluid. You're flexible. You have the mobility to move around, right? So that's why having access to some capital. See, this is my philosophy. I always say this. It's better to have access to credit, to business lines of credit, right? It's better to have access to it. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Because the best time to get funding, the best time to get access to resources, access to capital, is when you don't need it. You don't get the business lines of credit, the business credit card when you need it, right? When you are in the situation where you need it. No, that's when the banks will look at you as, right, this person is thirsty. This person is too desperate for funding. No, see, you have to go to them, relax, right? You have to show them, you have to, you have to let them know that, hey, listen, I don't really need this funding. I'm just doing you guys a favor. I'm doing the bank a favor by taking it, right? Because when they see that, okay, this person's credit is positioned properly, their business is structured properly, they are a low risk applicant, or they're in a low risk industry, right? This is what I talk about in the Funding Academy. See, you have to choose your industry very carefully, right? You want to be in the low risk industry so you can get these easy business lines of credit. Because remember, when the banks are making a lending decision for a brand new business, they have to be able to trust you. And how are they going to trust you? By looking at how your personal credit is positioned, how your business is structured, right? If you're in a high risk industry, the banks are going to deny you for funding. Or if you're in a capital intensive business, right? A business that requires a lot of capital to start, to run, and to keep it operating, the banks are going to deny you because they're like, okay, this person, right? This business is brand new and they're already in the high risk industry and they need this amount of capital, right? It makes you look too high risk. So that's why in the Funding Academy, the link is going to be below in the description section and in the comment section. I have access to lenders, right? Lenders that give true business credit that doesn't report on the personal side. And also I have a list of low risk industries that you can get into. So when you're incorporating your business, you are in these low risk industry, right? Because once you are applying, once you're doing the online application, they're going to ask you what industry you're in. right? And if you put the wrong industry, you're getting denied for funding. So in the Funding Academy, I have all these resources to help you to get the easy funding, to get the easy business lines of credit, business credit card, business funding. So that way, listen, you have access to $10,000 lines of credit, unsecured line of credit. Because remember, with a line of credit, it's unsecured and it's revolving. So if you're not using it, the banks are not charging you any interest, right? So you want to know, how do you position your personal credit to do that? How do you structure your business? So in the Funding Academy, right, I have the resources, training video, lender database to show you how to go about it. And as I said, right now, listen, you can get in with the basic membership in the Funding Academy. It's 1 year. And in that, you have access to training videos, you have access to lender database, you have access to grants, you have access to business ebooks, you have access to marketing checklists. So that way, once you get the funding, right, all the resources is there for you. So now you can start formulating, you can start testing out your business model, your business idea to see, okay, you know what business am I going to get into? Because as I said, with a service business, you can start a service business in less than 30 days. Cleaning business, right? Because you don't need any overhead capital or overhead. You don't have any overhead expense, and the requirement, you don't need that much capital to start the service business, right? Because most of the time you're going to be mobile. You don't have a head office. You don't have any, right? You don't have a retail space. You're just mobile, right? You're going to customer's place, you're going to customer's house, you're going to the place of residence. You're doing, you're providing a service mobile. So having some revolving credit, business credit card to move around, right? Maybe you need, to run some ads, or maybe you need to buy some inventory so that way you can provide the service. So this is what I talk about in the Funding Academy. The link is going to be below. And as I said, you can get in with a basic membership so you can get the information. Because listen, access to capital is everywhere. The banks have access to capital. Now it's a question of, okay, how do I position my personal credit? How do I structure my business? And which banks do I go with? Because not all banks give true business credit, because some of the banks, they will give you business credit that ends up reporting on your personal credit, and it starts to damage your personal credit. And that's what you don't want. That's why you want to be very strategic, very careful on how you get the funding, because you don't want any funding showing up on the personal side and messing up your personal credit, right? You don't want that. So in the Funding Academy, right, as I said, you can get in with the basic membership plan, and you can learn on your own pace. There's training videos, lender database. So I show you, okay, you know what? Don't go with this bank. Go with this bank, so you can get as much funding as you can in a short amount of time. And as I said, once you get this funding, you don't have to use it, but at least you have it, right? Because now you have access to some capital, $30,000, $20,000, $50,000, and now you can figure out what your next business move is going to be. So listen, that's all for today. As I said, the link is going to be below in the comment section and in the description for the Funding Academy. You can get in with a basic membership and get the information, people. Listen, we are entering a time where you need to have access to resources if you want to survive in this country, in Canada. You got to have as much resources as possible. You got to have networks, right? You got to be with the right network and the right association. You got to have access to capital. You got to have access to resources. You got to have access to knowledge. You have to have access to human capital, all right? And that's why AI, you need to be using AI to grow and start your business, right? Because tools like ChatGPT can help you formulate your business idea. It can help you structure your business. It can help you structure your idea to see if your idea or if your business idea has any validity, or if your business idea is marketable, right? If it's marketable, if it's something that could be sold in the marketplace. So you can use these tools like ChatGPT, because listen, right? AI is here to help you. You have to know how to use it, right? You got to use it to your advantage. And when you have access to capital, right, now you have an unfair advantage, because now you have capital and then you have AI that you're using to help you accelerate your business. So listen, I am out of here. I'm going to see you all in the next video. I am out.